Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman. Before I get into this week's podcast episode, I wanted to go ahead and give you some news. I will be speaking this week at the 10th annual Biohacking Conference, and I am so grateful for this opportunity. It's a big deal because biohacking is the premier conference for anyone who wants to take control of their biology, of their health, of their longevity, and of their lives. It is the premier place for health and wellness. It's the premier conference for amazing health and wellness professionals and celebrity doctors. And I just love attending. But this year, I actually get to speak. This is such an honor and such a great opportunity. And I feel very, very honored to be a part of this in a different way, right? In a different format. I will be speaking, of course, on alopecia and how to heal, how to reverse, and steps to take and whatnot. So I'm very, very excited for this. I'll be speaking at the conference, but other amazing speakers will be there, including Gabby Bernstein, Dr. Mercola, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and many other world-renowned health and wellness professionals. In other news, I had a coaching call yesterday with clients, and there were so many moms in the call with little ones who are experiencing hair growth, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, multiple 3-year-olds actually. So big congrats to all the moms and to the adults, of course, seeing the hair growth, and for those with the aha moments in their healing journey, because this too is also crucial, right? Everyone's journey is going to look different, but when you get those aha moments for yourself, this is big. This is a big revelation, and it helps you understand like where you are, what you need to do, and where you need to go from here. So talking to everyone in the community was amazing, and hearing their feedback and questions is also great. It's a big learning for everyone as we all come together in these calls. I absolutely love them. Today's topic is the 7 steps to manifest anything you want, including hair, part 2. So steps 1 through 3 are on the podcast number 124. And today we're going to be going through steps 4 through 7. So this may be a little lengthy, but definitely worth it. So step 4 is overcoming tests from the universe. You might be scratching your head a little bit thinking, what does she mean by a test of the universe? So let's go ahead. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine that you would want to manifest your perfect partner. Before you meet the one, you would likely be presented with a test from the universe to overcome. The test is there to see how worthy you really believe you are of attracting them into your life. This could be with, let's say, an ex who tries to reach out and who tries to, get back into your life one way or another. Or maybe these are random guys that you've dated back in the past and they're wanting your attention now. So the best way to overcome these tests is to say thanks, but no thanks, and close those doors so that the door to the one could happen. In terms of hair loss, what it could be is that, let's say you're shopping at the pharmacy or you're shopping at your local store, and all of a sudden you see, beautiful marketing from a new hair, skin, and nails vitamin, and you're tempted to buy it. You're tempted to do that because that's what you think has maybe potentially worked, or maybe you think you want to give it a try. But instead of wasting your money, what you should be doing is saying, nope, I know you're not going to work. You're a gimmick. You're a one size fits all. And because I know this, I'm going to save my money and my time and my energy and place it into something else where I know that I'll get the lasting results, such as inside the Hair and Heal program. So this is what these tests would come back to. And they do come back often if you think about it. I mean, if I were to start to analyze my own life and situation, anything that I've manifested, I've definitely have seen these tests. And I've also experienced where potentially you're tempted to do this quick route of sorts in terms to get to the end goal, but that doesn't lead to results. It's really nice to be able to recognize the test and to say thanks, but no thanks, close those doors, and then leave space, energy, and time for the true manifestation that you want to happen, whether it is the hair growth, whether it is the one, whether it is that new job, or whether it is a promotion or anything else. And so this examples would be, let's say if you're waiting for that promotion, or if you're waiting for that job, or maybe that internship, as we're getting into the summer months here in the Northern Hemisphere, is maybe you say no to all the other offers until that offer with that company that you want. I know sometimes this could be a little nerve-wracking because maybe you need the money, or maybe you want to just get to a job, or maybe you just want to get your foot in. But instead of taking other jobs that are, let's say, taking your time and energy away, you're holding out for the one job with the one company that you really want. That's the same thing when it comes to universities, when you're applying to universities. I don't know about you, but I applied to probably like 3 or 4 universities. I had my backup plan, so to speak, but maybe I didn't manifest this university situation too well. But the one that I wanted didn't show up. It was fine. But at the same time, had I wanted to manifest it, what I would have done is said no to everything else and really focused all my energy and attention to that one school. And so that would be another test, right? When you have all these other offers, like what happens? I know in my husband's life and in like other athletes that I know in high school, they're getting a lot of offers to go to college, with different scholarships and different opportunities and different locations around the country. And it can be very, very exciting, but also very overwhelming. And so having and understanding exactly what you want and what you really want to get to and what that end goal is. It's not just college, but what college is it? Where is it located? How does it make you feel? What's the weather like? What is the atmosphere like? What type of college experience are you looking for? Honing in on that, I think that will set you apart and allow you to manifest that possibility even greater than just saying, oh, I just want to go to college. Because that could be anything. That could be a community college. That could be a junior college. That could be, a college out and, so far away from home. That could be so many different things. And it could be great, but it could also not be exactly what you want. So being very decisive and very clear on what you want is part of this, which we talked about back in the earlier podcast number 124. So sometimes when things are falling apart, they are really falling into place. And so to understand that sometimes when we're manifesting something, maybe it's not taking the route. Maybe it's not appearing like we want. And a great example of this is the typical romantic comedy that you see on television or in the movies, where the girl wants to be proposed in a certain way and she has all these expectations and the boyfriend's not, has a different vision of what he wants or how he's going to propose. And sometimes going with the flow is really necessary, and understanding that sometimes expectations hold you back from what is definitely possible. So for example, the girl who wants the special Tiffany's ring and wants to be proposed to in a certain way may not have it laid out that way. So sometimes when things aren't necessarily going in the same route that you want, don't give up. Keep on thinking that you can manifest and keep thinking that it is possible, but understand and give space for that to show up in maybe in an unexpected way or an unexpected manner, because sometimes the universe likes to surprise you. And also, just because you want, let's say, the hair growth, maybe it's not going to come through the typical ways that you would think it would, like with minoxidil or Rogaine or a laser cap or supplements or boosting biotin or any of these things, because actually we don't use any of that stuff in the Hair and Heal program. But let's say if you're wanting the hair growth and you want to manifest it, then being open to a different approach, being open to a different route, being open to a different way of seeing things, a different perspective. And in this case, it's a proven perspective. So you might as well go along with it because there's results behind it. So in this case as well, when we overcome the test, we build something within us. It's an inner strength that's magnetic. And I'd say, like, once you can see those tests and once you are able to overcome them, it's huge. And so this is what happens within us innately when we're able to see the situation for what it is and be able to overcome it. And that's a big deal for anyone. Sometimes the universe knows you are worth more than the thing you desire. And this is a beautiful sentence, because many times my clients come to me and they want the hair growth, and maybe some are manifesting it, maybe some are not. But at the same time, it's much more than the hair growth that they get out of the program. So step 5 embracing gratitude without caveats. So what does this look like? It looks like being absolutely in gratitude for what you want, for what you have, and not saying to yourself, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if, I'll be happy, da 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 da. And many times it could be, I'll be happy when I get my hair back. I'll be happy when I have full hair growth. I'll be happy when I start to see the hair. I'll be happy when I start to feel better. Why are we waiting to be happy when we can be happy now? We can be grateful now. You can feel gratitude. And the more gratitude you feel, the more and more and more will come to you. So for example, I remember when I lived in an apartment before I got married, before everything, and I didn't have space for a garden, but I had a balcony. And so I would plant some herbs and some small things. And I was just happy with that little garden. And prior to that, I had a big garden, either at my mom's house or a prior house that I lived in. And then after that, even though I've only had a small garden for several years, and then I moved into another house, and now I've got a bigger garden. And so every step of the way, whether you shrink in size or whether you expand, either way, we should be grateful. Either way, we should have gratitude. And again, without the caveat, without the hook, without the, I'll be happy when I have all my hair. Because I got to tell you, even in my own experience of hair loss, I was happy the minute, so much happier, I should say, the minute that veil came off. Because it wasn't necessarily hair growth that I felt first. It was more the veil of symptoms come off. And it came off just like clothes, just one day. And then, of course, I already knew the hair growth was coming. I was obsessed and checking on it every day. But at the same time, hair growth will only go so far if you're still feeling the symptoms. If you're still feeling the symptoms and you have hair growth, then like something's amiss. But once that veil of symptoms came off and the hair growth started just like pouring out, and it was incredible. I'll say it was such a magical moment that to this day, I can still feel, I can still think back, I can still place myself in that bathroom, on that couch, in that house, and be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that day. I was by myself, completely by myself all day. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. And this was eons ago. And yet, we can choose to be grateful. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to give us that compassion and give us that grace and say, look, I may be bald right now. I may be going through hair loss right now, but I'm taking the steps. I'm taking the action to get my hair back. And on top of it, I know that I will heal. I know I'm on the right path. I know I am healing. I know I will get my hair back. So switch it. Even though like your situation today may look very different to where you want to be, to where you want to manifest. What I'm talking about is today, choose to be happy, choose to be grateful because you found the Alopecia Angel podcast, because potentially you're enrolling in the Hair and Heal program, well, because potentially you're also diving deep into all the free resources I have, and you're getting more comfortable with that next step. You're getting more comfortable with what's to come. You're getting comfortable with having the results look different in terms of how to get there. And on top of it, you know that you will see the hair growth, because it's never a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's not if the hair comes back, it's when the hair comes back. And that's what you need to believe. The power to manifest has always been in each of us. And we've been using it sometimes in the wrong direction. And our energy matters with all of this. And when we use gratitude, it actually takes out all the noise and it allows us to move forward. So 3 categories of gratitude is gratitude for the self. This is things that you can appreciate about yourself. Example, I am grateful for my strength. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my mind. I am grateful for all my senses, eyes, ears, movement of arms, legs, my brain, etc. The next category of gratitude is the gratitude for your life. These are things in your life that you appreciate. Example, I am grateful for my job. I am grateful for my family and friends. I am grateful for where I live. The next category of gratitude is the gratitude for the world. These are the things you feel grateful for that are universal to us all. Example would be, I am grateful for the sunshine. I am grateful for connection. I am grateful for the ability to travel and experience new cultures. I am grateful for my neighbors, for community, the country I live in, etc., etc. You can use these 3 categories to help you guide you in practicing and cultivating gratitude in your life. When you divvy them up a little bit, then you can start to see all the things that you are really grateful of, right? I can use myself as an example. It's not just me, my family, my kid, my friends, the new community that I'm creating here where I live now. But it's also the garden, the sunshine, the weather pattern, the amount of hot springs that are near my house, or the amount of people who are so on the same level and the same page of health and wellness as I am, or people who are just so into health and wellness in general, into a natural and holistic experience like I am. You can't buy that, but it's all in this community. It's all in this area that I live in. And I love, love, love it. To manifest, we have to first understand that we are the curators, the architects, and the conductors of our lives and our destiny. I had a friend who she has thyroid. She has Hashimoto's. She has a thyroid condition called Hashimoto's. It's an autoimmune disease, and she's had it for quite a while. She's also had other health concerns. And she told me, she's like, as a young child, I used to manifest being sick, being ill, having disease. I looked at her like in utter confusion. And I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? And she told me, she's like, because I found out I would get attention from my immediate parents, from my friends, from my family, from everybody. I would get immediate attention by doing this. I was just struck. My jaw was wide open, and I couldn't believe what she was telling me. She's like, yes, I used to manifest this, and I believe that my thyroid is because I manifested it so I could garner more attention from my family. And so now, she's in the process of healing and reversing it. And she's on like a 10-year healing process. This lady has overcome so much. Like, she overcame obesity. She's lost literally over 400 pounds. And you wouldn't know it from seeing her. You would think that she's just a normal girl in her 30s. And yet she's overcome already so much. And it's incredible to me. And yet she also has that self-awareness that she herself has manifested illness. And so in reading this snapshot of to manifest, we have to first understand that we are the curators, the architects, and the conductors of our lives and our destiny. Where do you want to take your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to manifest? What is it that you want to curate? What is it that you want to build for your life? What is it that you see as your destiny? Because that right there will give you clues as to which route you are taking. Are you creating more illness and more hair loss? Or are you creating more health, wealth, and abundance? There's paths and there's forks in the road. And we can manifest the good, bad, and the ugly. And we can also manifest the amazing, the incredible, the miracle, the beauty, the health, the hair, and so much more. It all starts with us. It all starts with what we want. And so take what my friend, we'll call her Sally, what Sally said to me the other day. And I was absolutely dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. And yet she herself was, seeing me for who I was, and I was seeing her for who she was. She accepted it, and she's, on the road to recovery. She's on the road to now being an inspiration of sorts versus the, oh, poor Sally. Oh, she's sick. She has this, she has that. Oh, poor Sally. Because if she wanted attention as a child, she may have not known this, but now as an adult, she does. Now, the attention that she does want to garner is that of a triumphant warrior, that of someone who's overcome obstacles, of that who can defy the odds, of someone who can be hunkered down from so many different illnesses and yet rise to the top and be a rising phoenix. And so again, she is choosing a different destiny and a different approach. And so I'm asking you this, what are you curating for your life? What are you being the architect for? What are you being the conductor for in your life? What do you think is your destiny? Because that's the great question to ask and to ponder on in terms of what we want and how we want to get there. And so you have to be really clear in your vision and about where you want to go while simultaneously being entirely grateful for all that you currently have. This is what I call the manifesting sweet spot. So being really, really clear on what you want, manifesting what you want, being grateful for all that you have right now before you can get to the full hair growth, before you can get to the full health, before you can get to the baby, before you can get to the bigger house, et cetera, et cetera. The beauty of the world can only be experienced by someone who is willing to see it. And this is the thing. We have to be willing without any caveats to experience something and be open to something and go all in. It is a requirement. You need to go all in. You can't just dip your toe into manifest, and you can't just dip your toe into the Hair and Heal program. You need to go all in. You really do. You want it, you got to go all in. A couple techniques for gratitude is to, one, make a gratitude list and journal every night, every morning. Write down 15 things that you're grateful for in the morning and at night, and change them up. And another technique would be creating a positivity journal. And in this positivity journal, at the end of the day, you can write down every single good thing that happened to you that day. Anything from a compliment that you received to parking that you got at work that was upfront, to, saving yourself from a car accident, or not being in traffic today, or listening to your favorite song on the radio, anything. And just creating a positivity journal and keeping those good vibes of positivity around you all the time. And then also, you want to practice mindfulness. Being mindful is a buzzword in many levels, but being mindful is when we are focused and present with what's going on, how we feel, and where our energy levels lie. So for example, today I'm choosing to work out in the afternoon instead of in the morning, because I know I need more brain power now in the morning than for the afternoon. In the afternoon, it's just body power, physical power that I need. But in the morning, I need brain power. So if I'm not feeling up to snuff because, let's say, I didn't sleep so well last night, then for sure, I definitely need to conserve that energy. And being mindful, like, where's your energy going? Where are you putting your best foot forward? What needs your attention versus what can use less of your attention? So noticing the little things, because the little things are the small pleasures of life that create a happy heart. It's the sunshine, it's the breeze and the wind in your hair. It's the being able to plant a garden. This year is the first year that I'm able to plant a garden in so many years, because it's the first year in so many years that I've had a garden. And I've been in and out of different homes, in and out of different continents and countries. And I finally have a garden, and I've planted flowers, and I planted lavender, and I've planted peonies and lilacs, and it all brings me so much joy. And of course, my husband's involved, my child's involved, and it's like a family affair. And we love being out in the garden. We love getting dirty and growing our plants and flowers. And to me, there's nothing more healing, more loving, more comforting than getting that nature's power all in a garden. It really is. So let's go into step 6. Step 6 is turning envy into inspiration. And this is a big one. And this is exactly why I started the podcast, because I wanted all of you to hear the interviews, the testimonials, the experiences, the different types of hair loss that just a small portion of my clients are sharing with you. And so it's more than just me saying, hey, I've healed my hair loss and it's just me. It's so many other people from all different walks of life, from all different states, cities, countries, provinces, with all different types of accents, which I love to hear, with all different types of hair loss, showing you that it's possible, showing you that it's happening, showing you that in less than 8 weeks, this can happen. And so when you have proof in the pudding, this is an opportunity for you to be inspired. And we need to turn that envy into inspiration. And so if you think back, I'm sure we're all guilty of this, right? At some point in life, whether we were younger now or maybe before, we had jealousy. We had envy, right? Of the person who had maybe the nice trips, or the person with the bigger house, or the person with the dog, or the person with the Barbie house, or the person who went to gymnastics, or the person who did extracurricular activities, or what have you, right? There's always a reason to feel a little jealousy or envy, right? Especially growing up, when there's this comparison game of what they have, what you don't have, et cetera, et cetera. But envy is a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. That's the Oxford English Dictionary. Envy is a low vibrational emotion that stems from a scarcity mindset. Your envy says to the universe, when I see someone else with something that I want, I feel resentful because I don't believe that I can have it for myself. Wow, isn't that big? Inspiration. It's a sudden feeling of enthusiasm or a new idea that helps you to do or create something. The Macmillan Dictionary. Inspiration is a high vibrational feeling that stems from an abundance mindset. Seeing something that you desire and feeling inspired by it says to the universe, I believe there is enough for everyone, and I believe that I can have it too. I'm telling you right now that you can have the hair growth. You can have the life you want. You can have the happiness, the health, the baby, the job, the promotion, the house, the vacations. You can have it all, but you have to believe that you can have it all. You have to believe that it's possible for you. And if you're listening to me, you're listening to me because of the hair loss, right? And potentially there's a little smidgen of doubt in you. Turn that into inspiration, turn that into possibility, turn that into belief that you can have your hair, because you can. You really can. How often do you come off social media feeling just a little bit worse about yourself and your life than you did before you went on? That's a question I have for all of you, because social media is a playground for comparison and a fertile land for envy to grow in. And you can use social media for good things like clapping your friends when they're, at a wedding or getting married or having their baby or buying their house or all these other things. But it could also be this tool for comparison, right? We know how detrimental social media has been for young children, young minds, and for impressionable teens, and, especially teens who are going through hair loss. I don't know if you've heard, but many, many teens and many young adults with alopecia have committed suicide. And that's a fact. You start looking at articles, you start looking at the news, and these girls primarily who thought that, they were strong and they were defying the odds and they were embracing being bald. Well, at some point they caved in, and lo and behold, they did the unimaginable, and these parents were left distraught, absolutely distraught. So hearing these stories is very heart-wrenching, and I will say that social media is probably a big culprit in all of that. But how about, instead of pushing the agenda of, oh, just embrace it. Oh, you got this. Oh, you can do it. And this is all coming from somebody who has hair, who's never had alopecia. Like me personally, I don't want to hear it from them. That's just me. But in a bigger retrospect, let's place your children in the ears of people who've overcome the alopecia instead of the ones who've, let's say, embraced it. Because embracing it makes it sound like that's your only option, when it's not. You have more than just that option. You can embrace it if you want, and more power to you if you do. That was not my decision. That was never my desire, and never my destiny. Never. I know for the parents who are doing my program right now, and for the parents listening, I know you guys all of you want your children to be healthy, happy, and 100% back to the way they were before, and even better with their hair. I know that's what you want. And I'm saying, if your kids are old enough, get them closer to people who've overcome challenges, get them closer to people who have inspiring stories and who are able to showcase that inspiration. Because again, once we start dabbing into the envy and the jealousy and the why does she have hair and I don't? And why does she have this and I don't? Then we need to turn that story into inspiration and say, hey, this person also had alopecia just like you, and she overcome it. This is what we're trying to do. We're going to get you back on track. We're going to get you healing. We're going to get you the hair. I know parents, you are committed. You are 100% committed. And because I get these emails all the time that the parents wish that it was happening to them versus to their child. I know that. And as a parent myself, I'm happy I went through this 100% over having to deal with my child dealing with it. But at the same time, I'm here to tell you that we can turn this around. And so let's turn the envy and the jealousy around into the inspiration. Keep listening to the podcast, keep listening to these stories, keep reading the success stories online, go see the before and after pictures of some of the children that I've helped, because that is also a lot of inspiration. So what can you do with social media? Well, you can diminish how much of it you take in. You could also curate your feed. You can unfollow people that you don't want to see their feed for. And you can also unfollow people and things that potentially bother you, make you uncomfortable. You can also scroll mindfully. Maybe you find positive notes and positive quotes instead of following the news or, some politician. Or maybe you follow something else instead of potentially what you're following now. And so again, let's turn everything that we have into inspiration. So that's one thing to do. We can turn our envy into inspiration. While envy comes from the low vibe place of scarcity, inspiration is high vibe and comes from a place of abundance. The panic that rises up when we feel jealous of someone is really just panic that their success will take away from our own opportunities. Envy says there is not enough, while inspiration says there is an endless supply. Whenever we experience envy, we have an opportunity to reframe our thinking and choose an inspired perspective that will push us closer towards our dreams. Envious thought. This is something that they have and I can't have. Inspired thought says, this is something that they have and that I would like for myself too. And so understand that anything that anyone has, you can have as well. And that's including the health and the hair. Remember, we live in a society where we see the media constantly tearing people down with provocative headlines that encourage trolling and judgment. This enables envy-driven behavior. It normalizes judging and criticizing others for their accounts. It gives people an opportunity to express their envy in a way that feels acceptable. And this is a dangerous cycle for everyone. We have to start to call out envy whenever it begins to surface. I have definitely found that group get-togethers or WhatsApp chats can easily turn to a gossip fest that is fueled by jealousy. It usually doesn't take long for groups of friends to unite against one other person and talk negatively about them and their choices. Tearing other people down is low vibe. Building people up is high vibe. So remember that the next time you want to leave a comment on someone's Facebook page, Instagram, or anything else, what you put out is also what you get back. Make the choice to consistently turn your envy into inspiration. What I like to do when I'm feeling a little jealous or a little envious, I start to ask questions and I start to say, I love that. How can I replicate that? How can I get those results? How can I do that? And this is why I come from a place of ask more questions. Because, for example, in healing my hair loss, there was no one out there who had a program. There was no one out there who had results of healing alopecia. If the first thing you're doing once you have alopecia is Googling it and seeing that there's no cure, that it's all naysayers, that there's all these forums with bitter, angry people, then I'm just like, okay, none of these people are my people because none of them have results and they're all just complaining about it. And then, of course, I go see doctors in Europe and in the States and still no results. And I'm like, okay, I know this is possible. I just need to figure out how. And once I did, I started promoting the positiveness of growing your hair back and how it's possible. And all these people out of nowhere started saying, that's not true. Alopecia is incurable. It's an autoimmune disease. You can't do this. You can't do that. But lo and behold, it's like, show me different. Show me that you can't do it with these steps. And so once you start proving people wrong, then that's when they start to listen. I'm so grateful that people have taken a chance on me, that people have come to me for help, that people have been open to my method, that people have been open to healing and are willing to try the Alopecia Angel way and method of healing because they've garnered results and we've created more inspiration because of it. That's huge. In this black hole of hair loss and how everyone is applauding people who are bald, how about we applaud people who've healed themselves? How about applauding people who've defied the odds? How about applauding people who've put in the work to do something about their hair loss, to do something about their destiny and not just accept it on the sidelines and think it's okay? So seek out inspiration. Whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, go for people who have the results. So for example, if I want to climb Mount Everest, I'm going to go to somebody who's done it, not just once, but multiple times. That's me. That's my framework of thought. That's what I'm going to do. If I want to climb Mount Everest, if I want to build a house, if I want to build a garden, if I want to learn a language, I'm going to go to somebody who doesn't just speak 1 or 2 languages, but how about 5 languages? Show me the way. Show me the tips and tricks of learning a language. Show me the tips and tricks of, landscaping a garden. Show me the tips and tricks of building a house from the ground up. Show me the tips and tricks of healing hair loss. Go to the person with results. We just need to be open to it. So here are 4 steps you need to take to turn envy into inspiration. Number 1, become aware of it. To acknowledge our envy, we need to be mindful of our thoughts so that we can catch it when it comes. Number 2, remove the shame and judgment surrounding envy. Instead, practice self-love by offering yourself compassion, kindness, and non-judgment. Number 3, learn from it. If you find yourself going to judge another person, ask yourself, what is driving this judgment? What fear or doubt is driving this? What do they possess that I desire? Number 4, turn envy into inspiration. At every opportunity to feel envious of something or someone, you have an equal opportunity to reframe your perspective and turn it into an opportunity to feel inspired. Step 7, we are on the last step. Last step is to trust the universe. The secret of getting what you want from life is to know what you want and believe you can have it. Trusting the universe is hard, right? It's trusting the unknown. It's trusting without any thought, without any like firm tangibleness of anything. This trust can be described as a knowing feeling. It is knowing that even if you have no idea how it will happen, you just know that it will. It is knowing without doubt that the things you desire most are coming to you. It is this belief and unwavering faith that will ultimately enable you to call in whatever it is you want to manifest. Feelings of trust, assuredness, and unwavering confidence are all high vibe, and they enable you to effortlessly attract abundance into your life. Impatience is the enemy of manifesting. This is because impatience interferes with a little something called divine timing. Divine timing it is, because I have so many stories I can share. Divine timing is the timing of the universe, of an energetic force greater than ourselves. Trusting in divine timing is essential. A fancy way of saying, I believe that everything happens for a reason. When we trust in divine timing, we can surrender the need for control, for fixed timelines, and for an urgency to rush our lives. Trusting in divine timing allows us to be present and mindful, and to know that everything is unfolding in the way it is supposed to. It allows us to stay strong when things don't go exactly as we imagined. It allows us to find joy and beauty and contentment in the journey and not just in the destination. Divine timing is the essence of manifesting, and we have to trust in it so that we can allow the magic to really do its best work. For most people, divine timing is rarely given the space it needs to play out. What often happens is that they become impatient and begin to interfere with the process and ultimately steer themselves off the path to their dreams in the hope of finding a quicker route. It's easy to understand why so many of us do this. When we live in a world of instant gratification, it's as though we expect to manifest our dreams as quickly as we receive an online order. The process of waiting for something is a huge test of our self-belief and self-worth. When something doesn't come to us straight away, there is more room for our negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and insecurities to grow. Our instinct can be to lean into the negativity and to lower our vibration by allowing our fears and doubts to get louder. We may say things like, I knew I wasn't worthy of it, or I should never have believed I could have that for myself. Or maybe you're thinking, oh, that's not going to work for me. Oh, it works for them, but not for me. It will never work for me. Does any of this sound familiar to you? What happens is that we try to heal the insecurity by finding something that can temporarily put a plaster over the self-doubt. For example, I had a friend who was single for a year. She had decided at this point that she was fed up with waiting to meet someone. She kept saying to me, why isn't this happening? I gently reminded her that first, 1 year of being single really isn't that long. And second, it was clear that she was still full of fear and doubt. I told her that I believed she needed to focus on healing her past before she could call in her soulmate. But she did what many friends do when receiving advice. Listened intently, then chose to totally ignore it. So true. She decided she couldn't be bothered to wait any longer, allowed her feelings of unworthiness to consume her, and, unsurprisingly, went on to date someone who was never going to be able to offer her the emotional stability and the commitment she deserved. She was interfering with her path to meeting her soulmate for temporary relief from being alone. It was only when she finally broke off that relationship and began to really commit to her own self-development and to raising her self-worth and letting go of that need for it to happen at a particular time that she was able to meet the man who is now her fiance. Does this sound familiar? In those same romantic comedies, I always see that the girl who's turning 29 has this time limit on herself. She needs to be married by 30, have kids by 32, and be done with them by 35, and then get her master's, and then do this and do that. And everything has this timeline. We women are so much like that. I don't know too many men who are like that. They're very goal-oriented, not to say that men are not goal-oriented. They are. But they don't say, I need to be married by 29. I need to do this by this time. I need to do that. Like, they let it go. They give it free rein. They know it's going to happen, and they just know that they're just going to work towards it. They know that it will come. It's just a matter of time and a matter of putting action. But then also the trick is really to let go of waiting and just let it happen. In the process of letting go, we surrender to the universe. Therein lies the magic. This word surrender has come up a lot of times for me, and it comes up a lot because I practice yoga. And in yoga, when you are clenched, holding a pose, and it's difficult, and it's stretching your limbs, and you're just like in agony, and it hurts. When you actually surrender and let go, you mentally surrender, your jaw loosens, your body flows, onto the ground and just kind of sits in more comfort than in pain. When we tighten our grip, when we hold and try to control everything, this is when things hurt more, whether it's a yoga pose or a situation in life. And when we surrender, when we let go, things are easier. And so this step 7 of trusting in the universe is the epitome and the overarching need for trusting in everything. Even if there is a shadow of a doubt, even if there's a smidgen of doubt, even if there's a little fear, you need to trust, but go all in. Trust is the glue that holds the steps of manifesting together. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, young adults and children. These are the steps to manifesting what you want. I'm here to tell you that I believe I've manifested so many things, including jobs, including my husband, including my baby, including so many other things that I've wanted in life. I truly believe that I've been able to manifest them again, without the hard line due dates, without the hard line expectations, and letting it come. And divine timing is a big one for that. I think back, and I don't think I was ready potentially to get married earlier than when I did, or to have a baby earlier than when I did, or to even have alopecia earlier than when I did. I believe it was all divine timing. And so if you have a trust in the universe, a trust in yourself, a belief in yourself that you can do anything, I believe in you, and I believe you can do anything, including grow your hair back. Stay well, and I look forward to talking to you on the next podcast. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this, and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.